A little bit of controversy here in Victoria today because Brett Sutton, Professor Brett Sutton, or our former Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton, a sex symbol Brett Sutton to some of the loonies in Victoria, he has been awarded the Victorian of the Year by the Victoria Day Council. A somewhat prestigious award for Victorians, I guess, if you rate these awards as meaning anything, meaningful. But yeah, does he deserve to be Victorian of the Year? Now, if you ask me and many other Victorians potentially in the state, particularly today, they might have a different answer, and that answer might possibly be no, hell no. Brett Sutton does not deserve any such award as recognition from the Victorian public. Now, in 2020, 2021, when people were blinded by Brett Sutton, the sex symbol who was taking his top off and getting injected with vaccines and appearing on your TVs night after night or day after day, telling you what you can do at home and where you can go out inside and, for how long you can be outside or what kilometer radius or what curfew or what playground can be open and what school you can attend to. Maybe during that time when Victorians were in love with this idea of being controlled by people like Brett Sutton and Daniel Andrews, perhaps you could have made a case that that was the time period to give someone like Brett Sutton the Victorian of the Year award, because it just kind of fit in with that whole crazy time, right? People would have been like, yeah, well, Brett Sutton, he's out there fighting for us. But today, knowing what we know today, the history of that period, right? In hindsight, knowing the science that we know today, the science that many people argued back then, but now we have a lot of the evidence for these things. Knowing all of that, and then reflecting on the decisions that Brett Sutton and many like him made during that time, I think it's a slap in the face to award these people these type of awards, right? Because they've not taken any accountability for the decisions that they made. There's been no commissions. There's been no studies done on the decisions that these people made where they have participated in good faith and accounted for themselves. They've largely been given a pat on the back. A lot of them have either resigned and got other cushy jobs, just like Brett Sutton, who's getting this cushy job now with the CSIRO. These people, they're just getting away with all of this stuff and getting awarded for it. And this particular award is, even though we haven't awarded him, technically it's an award of recognition from Victorians, recognizing Brett Sutton as the Victorian of the Year. So let's just have a look at some of these articles talking about this today. This is from The Age. A song, a cake, an award. Brett Sutton named Victorian of the Year. Brett Sutton had tried to decline the award, but there he was standing in front of a choir singing Happy Birthday to Victoria, while a cake packed with candles marked the state's founding in front of a small crowd at the Melbourne Town Hall. The Victoria Day Council, a small non-profit body established to celebrate Victoria's foundation on July 1st, named the outgoing Chief Health Officer as its Victorian of the Year 2023 at a ceremony on Friday morning. There he is himself. Let's have a look. What else is that? He said, apparently he tried to decline. I said, look, can I decline? Sutton said as he responded after learning of his Victoria Day honour. It was just my discomfort with having it individually recognised for me when it really was the collective efforts of the state that got us here. Really? Collective efforts? Was there a collective effort during that time? I mean, these people, Brett Sutton, Daniel Andrews, they forced people to do things through mandates and through punishment via the police, right? But was it a collective effort? If we are all put into like these kind of gulags and we have to deal with it, otherwise be punished, is that really a collective effort? I don't think so. Here he is singing Happy Birthday. Let's have a look to Victoria.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Victoria. Happy birthday to you.
Now, many of you might have forgotten. I remember when Brett Sutton, when we were all locked in and we couldn't do any of these things, when we were told to work via Zoom, not to go to work, do all these things, he flew to another state, right? When we weren't allowed to leave our state, he flew to another state to participate in some conference or some award thing just like this back then as well, right? And of course, we remember he was a bit shady about some of the emails that the email chains relating to the hotel quarantine saga. These are people really that shouldn't be receiving these awards. I think politicians technically shouldn't be even, or bureaucrats shouldn't be eligible for these type of awards, especially if they've been involved in some sort of controversial thing, such as COVID or the pandemic. There's many other people in our state that we could recognize for their efforts or contributions to charity or all types of work that they might be involved in. But yeah, this is a very divisive style of choice. But, these people, no matter what you think, they get awarded. And I think Brett Sutton himself recognizes this, even though he's accepted the award. He said, there'll be some divisions around it. There's no question about that, Sutton said. I don't want it to be about me particularly. I want it to be about recognition of the way that we looked out for each other. What else has he written here? Sutton told his masthead he was appearing at the Victoria Day event in the private capacity, but he was still keen to promote public health messages before he departs from his role later this year. I'm always happy to, and I'm keen to. My weekly messages are out there. They will continue to be out there, and I'm happy to promote them, Sutton said. Yeah, look, what do you guys think? Brett Sutton, Victorian of the Year. Let me know your thoughts. I think, this might be his farewell gift from public life for the moment, where he has been awarded by the establishment, given his little trophy for the things that he did. But deep down, even Brett Sutton most likely knows that he's not deserving of these things. And I'm not someone to hold grudges and, say these people aren't deserving and all this kind of stuff. But I'm happy to say it for people like Brett Sutton, Daniel Andrews, and all these folks, because they haven't taken the steps to be accountable to the people. And I don't think they ever will. And as long as they have not done that, I think it's fair for us to hold them to account and criticize them and call them out for all this type of nonsense where they try to, push on beyond that and move ahead by forgetting the past. We should never forget what these people were involved in. Anyway, guys, if you're enjoying my videos, you can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, and Odyssey at The Real Rukshan, or search for Rukshan Fernando. See you all next time.